Athens. How they have done it, I don't know, and they don't. But the Athenians have built such a city as the gods must have been thinking of when they first made man. A city drowned in sunlight and dancing and music and wisdom and deviltry. But it is the endless curiosity of the Athenian mind, its genius for the uncovering of secret things, that has made Athens unlike any other city.
You may as well eat. He won't come to breakfast until he's thought it all over.
Well, he's thinking of shaving. Somebody made him a present of a bronze razor.
Socrates?
Yes, Aunt Dippy.
Are you shaving?
I'm thinking about it.
Well, leave it the way it is. At least part of your face is covered.
You think you will?
Well, why not?
For a long while, the other boys didn't know he was my father. They made fun of his bare feet and funny whiskers, and I didn't say anything. But now they know, and... Aren't you going to shave, Father?
No, I thought better of it. Mother's right. You never know what's underneath. Maybe worse.
Well, it would do no harm for you to trim your beard and wear sandals and proper clothes.
I know. Look at this fantastic rig. It doesn't keep me warm in winter, doesn't keep me cool in the summer, hobbles me when I walk, trips me when I run, and it ties me up in knots when I sit down.
A new one might be simpler to fasten.
Have we money for a new one?
Not unless you brought it home with you last night.
That's what it was. Simius owes me 10 drachmas for an old debt, but we stood in the street talking about the war for so long, I forgot all about it.
10 drachmas?
Yes.
That is a fortune, and you forgot it?
Let's not be loose in our thinking, my dear. What is your definition of a fortune?
Any amount that takes a load off your mind. Any amount in excess of 2 obols, which is what we have in the house at present.
Father.
Yes, Lamprocles?
Well, if you have that much money... Well, there's a contingent of heavy-armed foot soldiers leaving for the south tomorrow. Now, I'm trained and ready, and if I had 3 drachmas to buy a sword and shield, I could go with them.
And you buy a sword and shield with 3 drachmas?
Oh, they've been used, but they're in good shape.
They're in better shape than the soldier that used them, I'm certain of that.
Well, the fact is, Simius sailed with supplies for the fleet this morning, so...
Oh.
Well, for once, I thank Zeus for our poverty. Why would you want to go with the army?
Mother, the battle raging at this very moment could end the war.
If you had any brains, you'd stay out of it.
My father fought for Athens.
Oh, yes, I know. The famous Barefoot campaign. Barefoot he fought and barefoot he won. The others were freezing all about him, but he trudged sturdily on over ice and snow, filling his comrades with courage and the enemy with despair. And what did we get out of it? The war is still going on. It has been going on for 26 years. And we are 26 times worse off than we were when it stopped.
But we can't stop.
Well, you've been stopped by your father's improvidence, and a lucky thing, too. It's best to go early for the fish while there's still plenty to choose from.
Very well.
Sorry, son.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'll find the money sooner or later.
Here. License, go with your brother. And don't stray beyond the spring.
No, Mother.
Socrates, we are at rock bottom. There is only 1 obol in the house and no prospect of more. Now, when I married you, I was madly in love with you, and so I brought you a little money. It wasn't much, but it used to be enough for us to live on, even when you brought nothing home. But the war goes on and on. Money buys less and less. You must earn a little or we'll starve.
I used to be a stone cutter. I could perhaps go back to doing that.
Oh, no, you couldn't. You could no more do that than you could buy sandals and wear them. Still, you could take money for the lessons you give.
I give no lessons.
You have a large following. You are held in greater esteem than any other teacher in Athens. You are offered money by handfuls, and you refuse to take it.
My dear...
Now, be quiet and let me finish. I know at least 5 other teachers in Athens, and every one of them is well-paid, well-dressed, and solvent, and you could be.
If I took money for what I say, I'd be cheating the public, for in truth, I know nothing. All I have is a kind of skill in debate.
But that's what they use you for. That's what they go to you for. Alcibiades did it, and Critias, and dozens of others. They spend a few years with you, and suddenly they are great orators and powers in the state, while here you sit in the same old shirt.
If I took money, then it leads you to corruption if you're searching for the truth. Eventually you'll go where the money is, not where the truth is.
You won't charge money for lessons.
No, I won't.
Well, it is not only the money, Socrates. It is that you are hated by many people. You are hated because you refuse to fit in.
Well, that's perhaps because they've got no hold over me.
But if you would set up as a teacher and be paid, you'd be one of them. They'd accept you. Oh, well. As it is, you're completely uncontrollable. You are known as the horsefly of Athens. You sting the most respectable people on their least respectable parts. You can't expect to be popular.
No horsefly's ever popular among the horses.
It's no use. I'm thinking about you, but you are not thinking about me.
I was madly in love with you when we first met, my dear. And what? I still am, in as far as an ancient party can be.
Oh, I know why you married me. You told one of those bachelor rebels of yours that you wanted to achieve self-control and that any debater who could keep his temper in the same house with Xantippe was equal to anything.
Who told you that?
Oh, lots of people came running to me with that one.
Yes, well, I'm a horrible old satyr. I suppose no woman is safe in my presence. But if you can overlook that, I'm yours, my dear, just as yours mine. I know it has not been easy for you.
Oh, who cares about that? And who cares about a man's looks? I'm no beauty. I was lucky to get you. But that does not mean I am willing to share you with anybody else. I've smelled her perfume on you more than once.
Don't be ridiculous now. Perfume.
Yes, there are women at these feasts of reason you attend.
Sometimes. But Athens has been the love of my life. But apart from her wisdom and beauty and culture, it is you, my dear, that I've loved the most. Oh, this is a golden place, and we have lived through a golden age.
I have lived mostly in the kitchen in an age of iron pots. But I have looked out often enough to know that what Athens wants is beauty and glamour and success, and not an old man in bare feet pointing out that the human race doesn't know its ass from its elbow.
That's where you're wrong. Now, that is one of the very few things it does know.
Father! There's an indictment of you hung up in the government building.
An indictment of me?
Yes, of you.
I knew it.
Well, Phaedo took it down. He's brought it with him.
It must have been hung up early this morning. I happened to notice it on my way to the jury room.
Palace of Thinatopos.
The indictment demands an immediate trial. Charges are brought by Meletas, Anitas, and
Lycon!
It's been coming for a long time.
I knew this would happen.
Oh, I didn't. It's better than I could have hoped for. They've played right into my hands. They're fools in debate, all of them.
They will have you killed.
Socrates, if you could just avoid this trial, I'd hope for that.
I wouldn't. At last I'll have the opportunity of defending my way of life in an open court. We'll win, you know. They'll never hear the end of this.
Socrates! Socrates!
I wonder who that can be.
Father, it's,
Yes, it is Theodity, I know. I wonder what she can be doing here.
The oddity, that sweet-scented doxy.
Perhaps you should go to your room for a while.
By Zeus, I shall not budge from this chair. Let her enter if she dares.
Socrates! Socrates! Oh, forgive me, Socrates. Forgive me for the news I bring.
We all know about the indictment, my dear. Come, catch your breath.
No, forget the indictment. We've lost the war.
What?
Yes. Athens has been beaten at Agaspotami. Our fleet is lost. Our city is at the mercy of Sparta.
Who told you this?
Three runners from Piraeus.
Where are they?
In the market. The Spartans caught our men and admirals off guard, captured every man, butchered many, saved a few of the wealthy to be ransomed. The king of Sparta offers no terms. Demand surrender.
Never.
Has the assembly been summoned?
They're meeting at the government building.
Come on, gentlemen, we may be needed there.
Sounds as though they've won by trickery.
Then there's to be no trial?
There's no time for such things now.
Thank Hera for that.
So, you are Xantippe.
I am.
I better go.
My reputation frightens you, no doubt.
I've heard of your talent for invective.
From whom?
Oh, that's a professional secret.
Yes, I know, you strumpet.
Why put it so mildly? I'm a Corinthian, with all the advantages and accomplishments denied the native born.
An excellent debater's trick. Always describe your vices as virtues. You learned that from Socrates.
Yes.
Mother, there are soldiers marching in the streets. Hundreds of them.
The Spartans.
Yes, go to your work, woman, and double your prices.
Stay to your kitchen, wife. Save what food you have.
I want to see the soldiers.
You come with me. It's not safe outside.
Hello, Athenians. The treaty between Sparta and Athens provides that the walls of Athens be razed to the ground by her own citizens. The work to be completed before the arrival of King Pausanias of Sparta. Those who loiter will be whipped. Those who refuse will be killed. Has gone slowly, King Pausanias, but as you can see, it's nearly finished.
Hey, don't call me King Pausanias. The name's long enough without the handle.
I shall feel insolent if I give you no title, O King.
Look, your name is Critias, isn't it? You're the brilliant Critias.
I'm Critias, yes.
Well, I'll call you brilliant, and you call me stupid.
Stupid.
Yes. In Sparta, all the kings are called stupid, and they are stupid. My own family has an almost perfect record. For 3 generations, no one nearer than a second cousin has learned to read.
Oh, but you can read, of course.
Me? Can't even write my own name, and a good thing, too. Everyone trusts a fool. So come on, trust me. Call me stupid.
I can't, Your Majesty.
Satyros, come here. Now, I order you to call me stupid.
Stupid.
That's it. That's better. Now, I interrupted you. You were telling me something.
I was about to make a report. Pursuant to my orders, we encountered fugitives.
Words of 1 syllable, please.
Surely. It was easy to destroy democracy here in Athens. But it's not so easy to make the Athenians like the oligarchy which I've set up in its place. As the head of 30 oligarchs, I'm extremely unpopular.
Unpopular? How do you know?
Remarks are made about me, even to my face, which leave no doubt.
I should strangle anyone who makes remarks.
At the moment, the most dangerous and influential of our opponents is a man who was my first teacher. His name is Socrates.
Socrates!
You know the name.
Oh, even in Sparta we've heard of him. He's the one who goes around barefoot, isn't he, and talks?
Yes, I learned about government from him.
Yeah, oh, I should like to see him.
Well, that's easily arranged. He's in one of these labor gangs.
I should like to hear the way he talks. One of these question and answer things I'm always hearing.
It makes it a little easier if you reflect that walls are not permanent things like they go up and then they come down. And if you look at them in the light of what is no doubt going to happen to them, they hardly seem solid at all. They go up and down so often.
Everything that you say teaches that there are no eternal values. How can you expect our sons to fight if everything they fight for is in doubt?
He likes this occupation, Lycon. He spent his whole life tearing Athens down, stone by stone, and this is a fitting climax to his work. The defeat of Athens, the famine, the pestilential government that now rules us, all came about as a result and a punishment for our having listened to Socrates.
You brought defeat on us just in time to save yourself. If the Spartans hadn't come when they did, we'd have put you on trial.
And if we ever get our democracy back, we shall press that indictment.
Oh, let us not squabble among yourselves, gentlemen. Sparta is our one common enemy, and one enemy at a time is enough.
I am your enemy, Socrates, and you are mine.
Perhaps we should first decide what an enemy is.
I know what he is.
Would you consider a man's enemy to be one who does him evil?
I would.
Would you consider a man's friend to be one who does him good?
Of course.
Now, my friends tell me that I am a good teacher and a philosopher of parts. Is this true?
It is not. It's a lie.
So that my friends lie to me and they flatter me.
They do.
Is that good for me? Is it good for me?
No.
Oh. My enemies, on the other hand, tell me that I'm a fool and a windbag. Is this good for me?
It's the truth.
Is it good for me?
Well, how do I know?
You're afraid to answer.
If he answers, he'll contradict himself.
That's what always happens.
Is it good for me to be told I'm a fool and a windbag?
Yes. Damn it, yes, because you are one.
But you began by saying that a friend is one who does good to you and an enemy is one who does evil. And you end by saying it is the enemy who does good and a friend who does evil.
Now, that I understand. But I want to put a question to him.
No matter how much his tricks may amuse you, don't be misled by him.
Don't worry, Brilliant. Socrates!
This is the King of Sparta.
Oh.
He wishes to ask you a question.
I heard you say that an enemy is one who does good to you. Now, Athens and Sparta have been enemies. Did Athens do good to Sparta?
Much good, O king.
Would you make that clear to me?
Is a victory good or evil?
Good.
And is a victory possible without an enemy?
No.
Now, would not the victory of Sparta have been impossible without her enemy, Athens?
Yes. Yes! But how did Sparta do good to Athens?
Oh, when you took away our democracy, we realized for the first time what a precious thing that democracy was.
Ask him more. You teach you that up is down and left is right and young is old and that a father is no wiser than his son.
He will not, Father. He will ask if you are sure that your left is always left and your right is always right. And then he'll show that it depends on your point of view. And then
This
he'll point
string
out
of
that
rubbish
because
is
the
what
man's
you
got
teach
authority
my
doesn't always
son.
mean-
Your father has merit in his
And is this
argument.
what you call democracy?
Have you had enough of it?
But democracy is as stupid as I am.
As stupid as all of us put together, but free!
Disperse these men, let them eat. Socrates, you are still my master, even though I am, by accident, master of Athens for this moment. We've differed lately over procedure and over what's expedient, but we both want the same thing. The best government that can be had for our great and beloved city.
What is it you want from me, Critias?
Now, unfortunately, the government we have here for this moment is not the democracy you love, but it is the government of Athens. And if Athens is to endure these dark days of her defeat, her government must be made effective.
Isn't it almost time you came right out with it, Critias?
Do sit down.
Mm.
There is on the island of Salamis a rich and unscrupulous man named Leon,
Oh, yes.
who openly defies Athens and has sworn he will contribute nothing to the treasury while the 30 are in power. Now, we want you to sit in judgment at his trial.
Has this man been indicted under our laws?
His crimes are so open and flagrant, there seems no need for formal indictment. We've been obliged to abrogate the usual laws and set up special panels for trying these cases. Now, you would sit as a member of such a panel.
Would there be other judges in this court?
There'd be 5 altogether.
Oh, well, then my voice would hardly count.
Oh, your presence would count for a great deal.
Is it likely that he would be found guilty?
It's very likely.
But not certain.
Perhaps certain.
And what would the probable penalty be?
Death, I should think, for such a crime.
Oh, yes, now, what is the crime?
Disobedience.
Disobedience. To you?
Yes.
Yes. No. I'm not going to sit on such a court, Critias.
Before you say no, finally, Socrates, let me remind you I'm not alone in the government. I'm not always able to control it. If you sit with this court, you'll be part of the government and fairly safe. But if you refuse, it may be that you yourself will be called before just such a judge as I ask you to become. Why are you silent?
What? I'm listening.
To whom?
There is a little fellow on these occasions, invisible and nameless, that sits on my ear and advises me what to do. Shh, he's whispering now.
A little creature that clings to your ear and whispers advice to you?
Yes.
How long does he take to make his mind up?
Oh, a minute, a day, a year, sometimes.
Very
he
well,
never...
Socrates, you listen to this little divinity of yours. But be at the Senate chamber, ready to join the other 4 judges. Before the week is out. Now, you will note, Your Majesty, that the west wall has been completely raised and over here. If you'll follow me.
In a moment, brilliant, in a moment. Satyros. Are you looking for anyone, sweetheart?
I'm bringing food for Anytus.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm ravenous.
This is not for you.
Oh, but I'm devilish hungry.
Let go!
You should be more courteous to outlanders.
It's not for Spartans.
I find these little preliminaries very engaging.
Oh, you're horrible.
I know, and stupid, too, don't you think?
Yes, stupid.
That's what they all say.
But Anytus paid for the food.
Oh, I'll pay you, too. Here.
Oh, is that a Spartan coin?
Yes, with a king of Sparta's head on it.
Yes. He looks horrible.
I know. Stupid, too, don't you think?
Oh, forgive me.
Do you know, I think I will.
Oh, Critias, I've been thinking about you.
The week is up, Socrates. You've not appeared at the Senate.
I know, Critias, I know. Do you remember 25 years ago, sitting in this very garden and talking all the way through a summer's night? The most brilliant young men I've ever met. Alcibiades, Charmides, Critias, yes, because you were there. We made an oath, and we swore it. I solemnly swear to kill with my own hands, if possible, any man who subverts the democracy of Athens. Now, if I kept my oath, I'd kill you. If you kept your oath, you'd kill yourself. You remember this?
Yes, I remember. Men do silly things when a little drunk.
Drunk with power. Charmides was the first to plot the overthrow of Athens. He's dead. Alcibiades, he betrayed every trust put in him. He's dead. You're still a young man, but like them, you have sold out.
You lie, I've not sold out.
Leon is guilty of no crime. All you wish to do is to confiscate his fortune, to consolidate your power. You too will die young.
It's too late for you to die young, Socrates.
Oh, yes. And then I have no fortune.
Satyros has plans for you.
The gods have plans for us all.
Stay with him, Satyros. Don't let him out of your sight. King Pausanias will send the order of execution.
Yes, master.
Well, Satyros, is it?
Yes.
Satyros. Well, we're to see a lot of one another. You are to be my constant companion.
To the death.
He's got a sense of humor. Oh, very nice. Oh, well.
Just a moment. Where do you think you're going?
I wish to moisten my throat with some wine. Well, come and share it with me.
I'm a slave.
What, you have scruples about drinking with me?
No citizen drinks with a slave.
Oh, nonsense. Come on.
It is not right.
Well, you'll get used to it. Sit down.
I'll drink standing. Someone might see me at your table.
What, you're afraid?
I've never drunk wine before with a free citizen.
Well, how does it taste?
Excellent.
Who do you work for, Satyros?
Sometimes it's one government, and sometimes it's another government. But I'm always the executioner.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no need to be morose about it. Do sit down. Have you ever read Democritus?
Democritus?
Democritus? He had some very amusing things to say about about death.
All in good time. I have many things to do. It's unnecessary and irregular that I should be here.
My dear Critias, you will honor me by remaining till it's over.
Socrates refused to serve as ordered, and he must die.
No.
It's that simple.
You can't let him do that.
My dear, if it's that simple, I can't stop it. All right, call in Socrates.
Oh. The whole power of the state.
Socrates, I'm told that you refuse to serve as one of the judges.
Yes.
You know what'll happen to you.
I always believed that it's better to die than to do something in which your soul cannot believe to be right.
Well, I want to ask you a question while you're still alive. You spoke the other day of some little creature that clings to your ear and gives you advice. Now, that's very interesting to me, because I've got the same sort of thing myself.
Have you? Well, now, that's very interesting to me.
It's like this. You have the kind of mind that cuts corners. You're quick. You figure things out. Only every once in a while, this little demon of yours leans forward and says, wait a minute, not so fast. Eh?
Something like that, yes.
No, I'm just the opposite. I can't figure out anything. But people come screaming at me, and I'm a king, so I have to give decisions. So what do? I wait.
And then eventually your little demon arrives and he whispers something.
No such luck. No, I just wait and let him scream. And if I wait long enough and sleep on it, well, one day I wake up and there it is, what to do.
Oh, it's marvelous.
And I'm stupid.
Oh, beyond belief, dumb, enchanting.
Could we abbreviate these felicitations?
Now, take a case like this. Critias here says that Socrates...
Who's that? I beg your pardon. Yes.
Critias.
Oh, Critias. Oh, yes, Critias, yes.
He says that Socrates is the worst enemy of the state, and we must be rid of him at once. At once, mark you. Now, that's what I don't like. Maybe we should be rid of you, but why all this hurry? Why not sleep on it?
Why not, indeed?
If need be, why not sleep on it 2, 3 nights?
4. Because I'm getting old, you know. You mustn't wait too long. I might be dead.
Yes, now you're going round corners too fast for me.
Oh, I wonder.
Tell me, what's your little demon whispering to you now?
Now? Well, you know, it's a curious thing. For the first time, he's whispering a warning about somebody else, not about me at all.
A warning?
It's a warning that somebody else is in danger.
Me?
No.
Theodity?
Huh? No.
Your wife, children.
Oh, no.
Leon of Salamis. Oh, I can tell you something about Leon of Salamis. Critias had him killed just before he asked you to serve as judge over him.
Before? Is this true, Critias?
I'm not here to be questioned.
It is true.
Oh, now, this is very strange and disturbing, because the warning I received was about you, Critias. And I strongly advise you to run. Run, oh, Critias, run away.
Thank you, I shall not run, and I'm not especially entertained. You've talked your way out of many tight corners, Socrates, but you'll not slip out of this one. Take him to the place of execution.
What can we do now?
Nothing. There's never anything a woman can do.
There was nobody like him.
Nobody.
He loved you.
I don't know who he loved. Oh, come, the oddity. We can cry afterwards. He's probably lying in the place of execution. They leave them that way sometimes. Will you help me carry him home?
I'm such a fool.
Well, who isn't?
We're all fools. He wasn't.
Oh, I thought not at first. But he was. You weren't married to him. Can we go now?
Yes.
Socrates, what has happened?
I don't know, my dear. The usual government inefficiency. They killed the wrong man.
What man?
Critias. They killed Critias.
Then you're not in danger.
Oh, stupid. There's my friend for the moment. King Pausanias of Sparta. May I present my wife, Xantippe? Would you come this way?
Sure.
Take a seat. I'm sorry. I'm not quite myself. Critias did not make a handsome corpse. He didn't expect to die, you know. He didn't intend it. No.
No, I didn't intend to have him killed either. He forced my hand, the fool.
His death was not a mistake?
No. Quite regular. Just a little green for plucking, that's all.
Green for plucking?
Yes, not fully ripe. Not nearly as rich as it'd have been a week from now.
But do you intend to profit from this assassination?
Well, I was looking to Critias to restore the family fortunes. Mind you, he'll still bring me in quite a chunk. Leon of Salamis alone was worth near $500,000.
Which will come to you?
Who else?
Well, I should have thought to the family of the deceased.
Critias' family?
No, the family of the men that Critias killed.
Why give it to the men that Critias stole it from? How do you know where they stole it from? Or who they stole from? No. Much simpler to keep it.
But do you think that all money has been stolen?
Well, how else would anybody get it? Now, don't worry about Critias. I'd have had to dispose of him anyway before I returned to Sparta.
What, you're leaving Athens?
Yes. Troops and all the occupation's over.
We will miss you.
Well, my career is in Sparta after all, and things haven't been going too well in my absence down there. Oh, now that's what I want to speak to you about. What man shall I set up here in my place? Have you any suggestions?
I have, yes. No one man. Give us back our democracy.
Your democracy? No. Now, let's choose some man that you and I can trust, and we'll set him up here in power.
No one man can be trusted.
Well, you have to trust somebody.
No one man can be trusted with power.
What do you trust, then?
The citizens, the voters.
Oh, now, look. Democracy is an ugly, disorderly form of government. The people have no respect for their superiors. They say what they like, they do what they please. They actually charge a profit for supplying each other with the necessities of life.
Yes, that's quite true. Would you know of a better system of government?
The one we have in Sparta.
Oh, I've never traveled. Tell me about it.
Oh, now there, all men get the same pay, eat the same food. Well, it's just like a great army, with every man working for the common good.
Sounds perfect.
Yes, it is, and no man tries to get ahead of his fellow, because he can't. And there's no unseemly scramble for wealth and honors, such as you have here.
It's paradise.
Yeah.
Who governs it?
Why, the kings! The kings and the generals.
The kings and the generals, and they're not voted into power by the people.
No. We have a much better system, you see. A small group of men, they take on themselves the whole burden of the state, so that the ordinary citizen has got nothing to worry about at all.
Oh, I see. So the governing class does all the worrying for everybody?
All of it.
Oh, that's marvelous, yes. And so their thoughts, the thoughts of the people, are rationed out to them like so much food or clothing.
Even so.
Oh, it's better and better. Oh, it is better and better. And I suppose that the governing class is so incorruptible and so straightforward that they exist on the same low, plain ration of the soldiers and the ordinary workmen.
Well, no. They usually have some property.
Oh. They do not subsist on the same plain rations as the workmen.
Oh, no. They deserve more, so naturally, they have more than the ordinary citizen.
Yes. But tell me, how do they keep their place? I mean, isn't there sometimes violence, a murder, or two? When you have so much power concentrated among so few people.
Yes. Well, that does happen sometimes.
Probably happens quite often, right?
Rather often.
Rather often. Give us back our democracy.
Look, you stubborn old goat. If Athens goes back to being a democracy, you won't be safe here. Now, you remember what happened to
Anaxagoras.
Anaxagoras, right. Now, he was a great teacher. He had the protection of the head of the state, but he made a mistake. He said that the sun was not a god, but was a
ball of fire.
Ball of fire, right. And what happened to him?
He was exiled by popular vote.
Right. He was given the choice between drinking hemlock and getting out. And he got out. And then there was another Agoras.
Protagoras?
Protagoras, right. And what happened to him?
He wrote a treatise on the gods saying he didn't know whether they existed or not, and he was exiled.
By popular vote,
He was tried before a jury of 500 and found guilty of irreligion.
Now, I'm told that you've been saying a few things about the gods,
No, all I've ever said, admittedly in many different ways, is that no man knows why he's here, what he should do while he's here, or where he is going, but that he must search for the answers to these questions in books, at the altars of the gods, and in his own mind.
It won't do. They'll get you like they got those two agarasses. So choose some stupid, honest fellow with no more brains than I've got, and in he shall go as despot here. And you choose someone who's a friend of yours because you may need protection.
The courts are my protection.
Ah! Bah! Santinos, come here! What have you done with Critias?
Laid him in his house.
And the money?
Aboard your trireme.
How much?
104 bags.
Is that all? All right, I'll have one of those bags of silver sent here, and you buy yourself a bit of justice.
I don't want the money, I won't accept it.
Socrates!
If it comes here, I'll send it to the poor.
Where will you find anybody poorer than we are?
But why are you going to such lengths to save my wretched neck?
That's my weakness. I like a man. I like to keep him alive.
You're only pretending you're a fool.
Woman, do you want to ruin me?
Well, you know, under the circumstances, O king, I might be constrained to accept a little present from you.
Name it. Name it, Socrates.
Give us back our democracy.
Right. Have your damn democracy. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Oh, so it's to be farewell after all, Satyros.
No, I'm staying here.
Oh?
There's always work for us executioners.
There shouldn't be any such trials. Well, those jurors sit there and vote against a man because they don't like his looks or they've heard something about him.
You're wrong, Lamprocles. When the accuser gets up on that rock called Relentless, then the defender stands on that stone called Outrage, and they start banging away at one another. Something very much like the truth comes out. Now, however much they try to hide it.
The truth never comes out. You said so yourself.
Something very much like it.
May I come in, Xantippe? Of course. I have news. King Pausanias is coming back to Athens.
Oh, this troops.
No.
For the trial.
Perhaps. But he's coming to see me, too.
What? The king of Sparta?
No! Isn't it incredible? Well, this morning a messenger arrived at my house and said the king wishes me to prepare for a journey.
You're to return to Sparta with me?
Nothing else.
You are to be the companion of the king and have everything. I hate you.
Xantippe, what, are you envious of Theodotus?
Yes, I am.
Well, what have we ever needed we haven't had?
Riches, great riches.
Well, what could we buy with these great riches?
Luxuries and loads of everything.
Oh.
And you safe, and all of us safe.
Oh, Fido. Oh, we're just having a little discussion about the virtues of wealth over poverty.
And poverty wins, of course.
We won't try to settle that, but there are certain preparations we have to make for the trial. Now, it's customary in cases involving the death penalty for the wife and children of the defendant to appear with him and ask for clemency. We must create the impression that you're not well-to-do.
That will not be difficult. Theodotus, we're in the way here. Would you care to join me in my quarters?
Of course. Unless I am needed here.
It's customary to borrow tattered cloaks for the whole family, and to rehearse a scene of weeping, which you will then play out at the trial.
I can't do it.
Father, if they want us to weep at the trial, we'll weep.
Oh, Lamprocles, Lysis, you do this sickening thing in a public court.
Yes. To save your life, we would.
Sometimes when I'm near you, I smell one perfume, and sometimes another, and sometimes a mingling of perfume. Why is that?
Because I wear more than one in different places.
And men like that?
Oh, they're mad about perfume. They go sniffing and snuffing, getting more and more excited.
What kinds do you use?
Palm oil on the face and breast, marjoram on the eyebrows and hair, oil of thyme on the ear and knees, Myrrh on the legs and feet, and on the thighs.
Yes?
I've got my own preparation for the thighs. It drove Alcibiades to distraction.
Alcibiades?
Yes, it was Alcibiades I loved, and he's dead. Sometimes I like to see Socrates because he was Alcibiades' friend. Do you mind?
No. Marjoram on the hair and thyme on the ears and knees. You think I'm a fool to be in love when I'm no longer young?
What better is there to do, old or young?
Yes. What better?
No, I won't.
But Zephyrus has written a brilliant brief.
Oh, Zephyrus.
Which, if you merely read it, will almost certainly bring a verdict of not guilty.
Phaedo, I've been looking forward to this trial as a runner looks forward to a race he knows he can win. Tomorrow is my day. Allow somebody else to write my words for me. Never!
And you expect to succeed?
Oh, no doubt, yes, no doubt. So thank you all the same, dear friend.
Well, I must go tell Zephyrus.
Oh, Zephyrus, yes. Oh,
Be
Zephyrus.
disappointed.
Yes, I'd come with you, but I'm afraid I've forgotten something. I've forgotten something I should be doing. What is it?
Socrates.
Oh,
I wanted to tell you that I think you're wrong. I think one might just as well give up and have things like the rest of the world. But that doesn't mean that I don't love you. I do. It's just that I sometimes go a little mad on the subject of having things.
Was ever a husband more trying to the nerves of his wife?
Or a wife more violent and disagreeable, but I have good cause most of the time.
I think you do.
But don't hate me.
Oh, whatever could put such an idea into your head?
Well, do you know, it's a long time since you put your arms around me.
When you are young, my dear, you have these violent passions. And, of course, the whole ridiculous business is justified by the fact that without it, there'd be no Lamprocles, no Lysis, no children. When you are older, you still have these passions, but they are more...
Won't you lie with your head in my lap as you used to long ago, and I'll sit and think what it was all like then.
Oh, of course, it is morning.
Oh, well, tonight will do just as well.
Oh, no. Why shouldn't one break precedent?
Because I have work to do.
So do I. I don't want to go in there. Oh, by the dog. Suddenly the... Since when have you... Since when have you started using perfume?
Oh, only lately. Do you like it?
Yes, I rather do. You silly woman. Thank you. Oh. You know what I suddenly thought of?
No.
Do you remember that little grape arbor we had in the garden of the first house we ever owned?
Oh, yes. You used to say a prayer to the god Pan as you lay thus long ago.
Oh, yes. Beloved Pan, and all you other gods that haunt this city, give me beauty in the inward soul. For outward beauty, I'm not likely to have. Make me reckon the wise to be the wealthy, and those who need least to be most like the gods.
Yes. Same old prayer.
Yes. Make me content, but not self-satisfied. Let me give more than I get, love more than I hate, and think of living more than of having lived. Any more? No. This prayer, I think, is enough for me.
have accused Socrates on 3 counts. First, he preaches a new religion with gods of his own devising. Second, he corrupts the young men of our city by cynically questioning all precepts and patterns of conduct by which we have lived. And third, all the greatest enemies of Athens have been his pupils and friends. We demand the death of this man.
Socrates will now speak in his own defense.
As you know, he has the right to question us during the trial, and no doubt he will. For questioning is what he does best. Beware of him. He has done it so well over the last 40 years that he has pulled our city down into the compost heap of his own thought.
Men of Athens, I am not used to speaking to you from a platform, and this is the first time I've ever been involved in a lawsuit. Let me tell you how I became the kind of fellow that I am. My father was a sculptor. He was not a sculptor, he was a stone cutter. And I took to the same trade, and I was a stone cutter. And it was my habit to talk while I chiseled the stone. What did I talk about? Well, at the beginning, I'm afraid I was just a joker because it amused people. And what did I joke about? Well, I joked about important men and events, as we all do. Now, in time, I began to meet some of these important men. I was only an ignoramus, but I very soon discovered that I knew as much about many things as these important men did. And so I asked them questions and dug needles into them and made them very angry. I didn't know the answers to these questions any more than the important men did. But I was only asking the questions, you see, so I acquired a reputation for wisdom which I didn't deserve, and which I don't deserve now. The next thing that happened seems to me very serious. A friend of mine went to Delphi and had the audacity to ask the oracle whether there was any man wiser than Socrates, and the priestess answered no. This news spread among the citizenry. When I heard it, I was stunned because I never made any pretense at wisdom, and still do not now. But I resolved to do as the oracle said, and I started my question and answer games, testing each man that I met to find out whether, in fact, there was one wiser than myself. And this game has gone on from that day to this, angering many people who were stumped by my questions and leading me just about nowhere. I have not found one man who knows what holiness is, or wisdom, or courage, or loyalty, or faith. And I still do not know. I have put in Herculean labor all my life to try and prove that oracle wrong, and I've not managed to prove it either right or wrong.
Do you deny that you question the existence of the god?
I question everything, Melitos, including myself. The air of a democracy is not healthy unless inquiry bites at the heel of every project, of every proposal, even to the very foundations of life itself. May I ask you a question, Melitos?
No.
Will the magistrate kindly instruct Melitos to answer a question?
You must answer him, Melitos.
Oh, very well. Melitos, do you believe that the truth can do harm?
No.
Do you believe that free inquiry can do harm?
No.
You are then opposed to censorship?
I am.
Yet, I am a citizen of Athens. Would you impose censorship upon me?
I would. On you alone.
If there were one who were very much like me, would you impose that censorship on him?
I would.
If I had pupils that spoke like me, would you apply it to them?
Yes.
Would there be any limit to the number of people you would impose censorship upon, provided they talked like me?
No.
But you began by saying that you were opposed to censorship. Now you are telling us that you would enforce it.
I would enforce censorship on people like you. Melitos, do not let him trick you. We all see before us an impious man And that's what we came to prove.
Anytus, do you understand our words?
I do.
All of our words?
I think so.
Oh, fortunate man. Here I've been trying to understand 3 or 4 all my life, and their meaning constantly eludes me. May the whole of Athens share this miraculous knowledge.
Must we go through all this rigmarole?
You must answer. It is the law.
Now, Anytus, what is the meaning of the word impious?
Well, it means not serving the gods, not believing in them.
Oh. What is the meaning of the word pious?
It means serving the gods and believing in them.
Does it mean both those things?
It means both those things.
No, bear with me. Anytus, there is a meaning to these questions. Do not despise them, I beg of you. Now, if pious means to serve the gods and to believe in them, is it possible for one man to serve them without believing in them, and for another to believe in them without serving them?
This is an asinine question.
Is it possible?
It is possible, yes.
Very well. One man believes in them but doesn't serve them. The other one serves them but does not believe in them. Which is the more deserving of punishment?
He who believes in the gods and does not serve them, he is the guilty man.
Thank you, Melitus. But now, Melitus, here is a difficulty for you. I got one hint of how to behave from the oracle, and I have done my best to do the God's bidding. Did any of you receive as much as a hint or any suggestion at all from a god as to how to behave before you brought this indictment against me? Not one of you? You do not answer? You did not. Now, men of Athens, you see before you a man of uncertain faith who took the one hint at his disposal and who has sincerely tried to do as the gods demanded. And here you have 3 men of perfect faith who did not as much as receive one hint to know whether they were doing the gods' work or their own. By Melitus's own admission, these 3 men are guiltier than I.
But not by mine. And not by mine. Oh, yes, you did admit it, you addlehead, and I warned you to be quiet.
Oh, you warned me.
Gentlemen,
You must address the jury, not each other.
Oh, yes, gentlemen, I should hate you to lose this case unfairly, and if you must squabble among yourselves...
well, then, let me put one fair question to you. Do you believe in the gods?
Of course I do, Anytus.
In all of them, or only some?
In all of them, and very many more than you do.
Gods of your own, no doubt.
Oh, no, gods of your own, Anytus, and gods as they appear in Melitus's imagination, and the gods as Homer imagined them.
But are not these the same gods?
The same gods? Why, is your mind exactly the same as the mind of Melitus?
No, thank Zeus, it is not.
Well, then, presumably, the gods as they appear in his mind are slightly different to the gods as they appear in your thinking.
No, but I'm not talking about the gods as they are in anyone's mind. I'm talking about the gods as they are on Mount Olympus.
Oh, I see. And who told you about the gods as they are on Mount Olympus?
Homer.
And who told Homer about the gods as they are on Mount Olympus?
Men of Athens, do you hear him? He wants to know from whom Homer learned about the gods.
Well, that's a perfectly normal question.
Do you believe the gods on Mount Olympus to be sure and solid and real?
As sure and solid and real as anything in this world.
But just how sure and real is this world?
Ah, am I really here listening to you? Are you really there addressing me? This is a question which must exercise all of us. Well, I'll say this, Melitus. The gods seem to me just about as real as you are. Now, I don't know, is this real enough for you?
And now I hope you're satisfied.
You didn't do so well with him either.
Which of you will continue the prosecution?
Well, I will, if Melitus will be quiet.
I will if Anytus will hold his tongue.
Oh, better to say nothing than to hear you talk.
Well, then we'll say nothing.
Unless the prosecution continues, no case has been made against Socrates, and I shall be compelled to levy a fine on his accusers.
Yes,
Lycon.
I had hoped to remain in the back. Now I have no choice. Citizens of Athens, You see what happens when you deal with this jester on his own terms. I shall not fall into that error. I have one point to make. Since the beginning of the Peloponnesian War, our city has been led by the pupils of Socrates. Alcibiades was the evil spirit of Athens for 20 years. Charmides led the rebellion that overthrew our democracy. Critias completed the wreck of Athens. The other two began. Socrates taught all three. He taught them a devilish ingenuity and logic, which worked on men like a madness and led them to destroy themselves. These three were his chief followers, but there was a whole rabble of others, the worst men of 3 generations. And here he stands, this monster who has let loose all these evils on us. There are some things a nation must not question. It must not question its virtues, its standards, its religion. If you examine beliefs by which men live, you kill those beliefs, and corruption follows.
Well, that is a very convenient theory for a dictator or tyrant that does not wish his motives examined.
But it's true, and you know it's true. You taught your followers to believe in nothing, and you taught them the sleight of hand by which they could lead others astray. And you did this without fee. Did it for pure love of deviltry and evil. I say you did! For pure love of evil, of destruction, of tearing down, out of hatred for Athens and its people and its ways. You lie!
I love Athens. I've always loved Athens.
Then why do you injure her?
I must apologize. One should not grow angry in court. I have not been angry before, but when I hear it said that I do not love Athens, I cannot answer calmly. And what I love most about Athens is its freedom, its ability to examine every shred of evidence and to live in the same world as it.
Even if the evidence destroys it?
The evidence cannot destroy a free city, Lycon. It will make and keep it free. And now, Lycon, I must thank you. Thank you for having made me angry. Because, do you know, I've just understood something which had never been clear to me before. Athens has always seemed to me a mad miracle of a city, shooting out in all directions. A city made miraculous for no discernible reason. And now I understand for the first time that which drives Athens and makes it miraculous is the self-same urge that sends me searching in its streets. This is a city drenched with light, the light of free and relentless inquiry, and this light penetrates into our very souls. Turn out the light, close the door, and we will sink back into darkness like the million other cities that rose from the mud, worshipped darkness for a while, and then sank back into darkness, forgotten.
I shall ask one more question, which so far you have evaded.
Yes, Lycon.
Was Alcibiades your friend?
He was.
Did he betray Athens?
A long time after he ceased being my friend. In fairness, you must agree that when Alcibiades betrayed Athens, he also betrayed me, betrayed my teaching. In a free city, no one man chooses for another.
If you had to choose between Athens and the search for truth, to which of these would you give your allegiance?
Well, fortunately, they are one and the same thing. But if you wish me to answer as though they were not one and the same thing, and I see, of course, that is what you do wish me to do, then I would say this to you, Lycon. The search for the truth is more sacred than any god, more desirable than any woman, more hopeful than any child, and lovelier than any city, our own included.
Do you teach this to your followers?
I've said so often.
If the magistrate would permit, I should like to ask a question of my own son, Crassus, and of Socrates' son, Lampocles.
If the young men will come forward.
Crassus, I am your father, but you have given more deference to Socrates than to me. Tell me. Tell us all. If you had to choose between Athens and the search for truth, to which of these would you give your allegiance?
Must I answer? There is a penalty if you refuse to speak.
Then I accept the penalty.
No, Crassus. Answer as though you were answering me with complete honesty. The truth is best, even if it should hurt. Oh, no.
In time of war, I would give my allegiance to Athens. In time of peace, to the search for truth.
You evade my question. If you had to choose, do you not hold the truth to be more sacred than any city? Even your own?
I do!
You may step back, and you are not my son. Lamprocles, is your allegiance to the truth or to your city?
I have nothing to say.
Speak your thoughts, son. Whatever it may be. Go on.
Go on. It depends on the outcome of this trial. If my father is found guilty for wishing to find the truth, then I give no allegiance anywhere. I'm lost. And Athens is lost. And I can see only darkness.
And so, Socrates' allegiance and the allegiance of his followers is not to our city, but to the phantom truth, which he has never found. I think that is enough. I leave the verdict to the men of Athens.
If your allegiance is not also to the truth, then you will vote against me. But you are men of Athens, and you cannot vote for darkness in this city of light. Thank you.
If there is no further argument, we will put the case to a vote. The outcome of the trial, if you will be quiet for a moment, the total vote stands at... If you will be quiet and listen, the total vote stands at 279 for conviction, 221 for acquittal.
I think you said 279 for conviction.
I did, Socrates.
But then I'm found guilty.
It seems so.
Oh, I thought it would go the other way.
I thought so, too.
Yes. Well, I have not known my city. Over half the faces here have said no more for Socrates. I have grown old. You have tired of me. Oh, it's every man's right to tire of another.
Socrates, this indictment asked for the death penalty. It is your privilege now to propose an alternate punishment.
Oh, no. Oh. My accusers think, no doubt, that my death would be a victory for them and a calamity for Socrates. It's not true, you know. You have laid hands on a flea-bitten philosophical scamp who is in any case approaching the end of his days, and you've made of him a great man. If you were to allow me to die quietly in bed, I would be quietly forgotten. But if you accord me the martyr's death, I'll go out in a blaze of excitement and glory. I cannot wish this because although it would brighten my name, it would blacken the name of Athens. Do not do this. Oh, I beg of you. Reverse your decision and allow me to go into the oblivion which I deserve. The alternate punishment, yes. Well, I suggest that you fine me 1 obol, or some such sum, and that I be kept on at the expense of the state, as a gesture towards any services which you may consider that I have rendered, and so Athens may keep its good name.
Socrates, this light sentence will never be accepted, but I must put it to a vote if you insist.
No.
Satirus, we'll take the prisoner into custody.
Did ever a man at 70 see a more beauteous visage than this sad and ugly slave who sends men to their death?
Is it all fixed?
Yes, but we do a cash business here.
I am the king of Sparta, you clown.
There are no kings here, stupid.
And I'm not called stupid by everybody.
In Athens, you are. In Athens, anybody can call anybody anything.
Yes, I know. Democracy. All right, then. There you are. Take it.
What does one talk about on a last day, though? I suppose banter would seem out of place, wouldn't it? At the same time, I don't want to get off some of those apothegms about loving your mother and all that awful... Oh, no. Well, Ampericles, you are to be the head of the family. What shall we discuss?
I'm not going to admit for a moment that this is your last day.
Oh.
Anyway, you're not going to die today.
Oh, who told you?
King Pausanias.
He said that he came back to get you out of prison.
Oh, stupid.
Greetings, Socrates.
Oh, welcome, Pausanias. Excuse my not right.
Let's take those shackles off. Boys, leave us a moment.
We'll wait outside.
I'm afraid these shackles are somewhat numbing.
You won't wear them much longer, Socrates. You're coming back to Sparta with me. You and Theodity.
Oh, is Theodity agreeable?
She will go.
And Satyros has sold me?
Glad to. He's fond of you.
Xantippe and the boys?
It's all arranged. Xantippe wants a palace. She shall have it.
A palace?
Oh. And I'm to be a man of means?
Yes,
oh,
you'll be
no,
rich,
you'll live
Socrates.
quite simply in the palace. Just as...
Oh, this is not like a prison at all. Xantippe, when a woman goes to buy fish in the market, does she look at that fish before she pays for it, whether she's rich or not?
Now he's going to say we must look into this offer.
Well, shouldn't we?
You are being offered life instead of death.
Well, yes, I recognize that life is a little more important than a fish. But it isn't only I that should examine the offer. The king should. He may not like what he's getting.
I know what I'm getting. I'm getting Socrates. You'll sit up there in my palace with me and my friends and talk to us.
Yes, but you know, I might get tired of talking to important people. I might feel like getting out in the street and talking to a few shoemakers, weavers.
Oh.
Huh? What about that?
Why make difficulties? Nobody goes around asking questions in Sparta. And if you ask them, nobody'll answer you.
Why not?
Well, because they're not... Well, they wouldn't be interested.
In other words, I wouldn't be allowed to.
Not in the streets, no, but you could have a great influence on me.
No. What would happen to me if I suddenly took it into my head to go out into the streets And to convince some old peasant or other to search for the truth.
You dizzy old goat, you'd get your neck twisted, that's all.
Socrates, they will all be here in a few moments, and Satyrus won't be able to let you through. Perhaps it doesn't matter so much to you. Perhaps you can bear it. But think of us.
Pausanias, if I should stay here, would you look after Xantippe?
But of course I'll look after Xantippe. But you're not staying here. You're coming. Now, come on, come on.
Oh, I've had such a wonderful life, my dear. Am I going to ruin it all at the end by becoming a king's buffoon, saying the right thing and keeping amused?
But you'd be alive.
Is that so very important?
Then I will go to Sparta. Stay and die if you insist. The children shall have their chance. I'll go.
Well, if you think it's good for them, but I think they're better off in Athens.
Athens is killing you.
There's a light in the sky. You must go now, Socrates. Be quick about it.
I'm not going.
What trick is this?
Oh, there's no trick. I'm staying here. I'm staying in prison.
Why?
I prefer it to Sparta.
But the hemlock is prepared and ready. You were to drink it this morning. I've got my orders.
Oh, so we are to be together at the end after all.
But I don't want to give you the hemlock.
Well, you don't have to give me the hemlock. You can show me where it's kept, and I'll go and fetch it.
I don't understand it.
Oh. Go. Go with Pausanias.
Oh, Socrates, have you no last word for me?
Oh, my dear, how can I improve now on all we've given each other?
I'll wait outside.
Go with him. Go.
Well, I have one last word for you. I shall not go to Sparta. I shall live on in our old house on 3 ovals a day.
You're doing this for the children.
No, for you. At least I can remember you there. It's the only way I can keep you, any of you. Will you be there with me sometime?
Oh, I may not be there. I may not be anywhere, my dear. Nowhere at all.
But in spirit.
Oh, in spirit, yes, you can always have me. Anyone can have me that wants me and remembers me.
Yes. You escape me now, as always.
Oh, when you die, my dear, you escape from everybody. Will you say my prayer for me sometime?
If I remember it.
Well, say it now, and I'll prompt you if you forget it.
Now?
Now.
Beloved Pan, and all you other gods who haunt this city. I can't lose you. I can't live.
No. Give me beauty of the inward soul.
Give me beauty of the inward soul.
For outward beauty I am not likely to have.
For outward beauty I am not likely to have.
May I reckon the wise to be the wealthy.
Oh, I know the rest of it. May I reckon the wise to be the wealthy, and those who need least to be most like the gods.
And those who need least to be most like the gods.